Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. We're here at an Internet of Insurance event in trendy Shoreditch in the City of London. I'm talking with Oliver Werneyer from Swiss Re. Oliver, welcome. Thanks very much. You're the first client of the day, as it were, and you've just flown in from Zurich only a few minutes ago, so welcome. Thanks very much for being here. I'd like to ask you this. What impact do you think the Internet of Things, which is very much the buzz phrase of this year, having on the insurance industry right now? Why is it so important to the global insurance industry?
I think people underestimate how important it is to the industry because they see the technological side. They see, okay, there's a lot of stuff happening in the industry, but it's really an opportunity to revolutionize the industry, make it more relevant to our customers again. People always jump to the conclusion, we can give discounts. That's always the first port of call. We can provide better products. That's proven quite difficult in the insurance industry because of our risk-averse nature. But really on the customer engagement side, becoming more relevant to our customers and bridging that gap, that sort of relationship gap that we have with our customers is something that we can now see how we can bridge that. There's something tangible that we can leverage. And we're industry of data. This is data, but we can understand an individual from a behavioral perspective. Exciting times.
On a wider area, why is it so important globally? The insurance industry is a global industry per se.
Yeah.
Why is it so important globally now? What difference do you think it's going to make in the entirety, the round of it all?
I think that it's sort of a convergence of technologies becoming adopted, so it's becoming small enough, cheap enough, that enough people are actually using it to create some kind of traction, some kind of data. People can start working with it. It's not conceptual anymore, which at the same time means insurance and other partners can start getting their hands on it and doing something with it. So going out and saying to somebody, hey, do you have some kind of wearable information or IoT information? They won't look at you and be like, are you alien? What are you talking about? People fundamentally know what it is. So I think it's this critical mass that has been created in the world, which means we can now really engage it.
Let's move on and look at your company then, Swiss Re. What's your strategy at Swiss Re in terms of IoT? What will you get from it? You've talked about what the customer may get from it. What will you get from it? And again, give us a bit more emphasis on what the customers will get as far as Swiss Re itself is concerned.
So, first important thing to understand is Swiss Re is a reinsurer, right? So we're actually one step removed from the end customer. So our client is actually the insurance company. And Swiss Re's strategy around IoT is really working together with our insurance partners and help make this tangible in the industry, bring something that is not only good for the end consumer, but that is good for the industry itself. It has the potential to disrupt, but it also has the potential to revitalize. And that's really our mission, is how do you leverage this knowledge that we have, the skills and capabilities we have with our insurance partners who know the customer better than we do, and bring something really tangible, something good for the industry and the end consumer.
This interview will be going out to people who aren't necessarily in the insurance industry, but work in technology and the Internet of Things. So just tell us very briefly, Oliver, if you would, what is reinsurance rather than insurance?
So reinsurance is basically insurance companies take out. How far down the value chain do you go? But there is really a global management of risk here. It's the kind of game we play. So we help, we generally have a lot of cash we make available to deal with natural catastrophes, which a single company itself cannot absorb. It's just those companies would go under, so that risk is shared. And that's really the game we play, is we share the risks globally as well as locally, and make sure that the whole industry is much more sustainable and that the end consumer gets what was promised to them in the end.
Thank you. Now, you've told us about the benefits of IoT as far as the insurance and the reinsurance industry is concerned. What about the pitfalls? Where are the challenges?
The challenges are on the technical side. I think for an industry like the insurance industry, who doesn't understand tech so well, tend to get caught up in the tech side of things and think about the technological marvel of what it is they say, without understanding what it means in terms of business model, or even to the end consumer. So people love having projects when they say, look at this, and everybody gets really excited and be like, so, and now how do we get it to the market? How do people even care? And that for me is the biggest pitfall, is creating stuff that looks nice, but is completely irrelevant, which takes us even further away down a dark path for insurance. It should be an opportunity to get closer to the customer. And unless we use it to get closer to the customer, we're just accelerating our path down to oblivion, if you will.
That's a doomy way of looking at things.
But having said that, I'm an optimist. I really think this is a great opportunity for insurance, and they have to grab that and say, how can we become more relevant to people? How will we revitalize the industry? And how do we change the engagement we have with our customers and people actually like us?
I'm going to ask you to put your sort of peer into the future a little, if you will. I know we can't do much in this industry, especially in technology. Things are changing so fast in terms of the internet, broadband, and so on. It's very hard to look into the future very far. But as far as IoT and the insurance industry is concerned, what effect do you think it's going to have in the longish term? Let's say a year, 2 years, up to 5 years' time. And how will the way it makes the interactions between customers and other industries work? Is it going to spread out? Is it going to affect, as far as the insurance industry is concerned, is it going to affect other sectors as well?
I think we're actually late to the party. I think it will affect most other industries first before it does ours. Not because that's how it is, it's just because we're very slow at adopting in the insurance space. We're very cautious, it's a very risk-averse industry. I think it, sort of when you look at the big steps humanity takes, it's when something goes from being everywhere to being nowhere. It's sort of, we used to have electricity, first we had fire, then we had electricity, and now suddenly it's just everywhere. It's under the walls and the plug. And I think the similar aspect is of sort of IoT and wearables, and that's of very much interest to us, is suddenly that data is just everywhere. We have a much better understanding of the behavior, and I think that adds a new dimension into industries. It's not just the cold data, you are here, then you are there, but really the behavior around it, and who are you as an individual, the digital you. And I think that's why in the future we will have a completely different relationship with our data and our tech, is that somehow the tech will just be everywhere, and we will expect to be engaged in that way and get benefit from it, rather than have to buy stuff and add it to our body and wear it.
Okay, well, thanks very much for coming in first thing in the morning after getting off a flight from Zurich. I'm very pleased that you did. Oliver Werneyer, thank you very much indeed.
Well, thank you very much for having me.